Okay, zombie apocalypse, you really think a submarine is the place to survive?
Absolutely. Underwater beats undead any day.
Sure, unless the underwater place is a giant metal stress tank.
Better than being street food for zombies.
Fine. Walk me through this brilliant plan.
Simple. Get a sub, get a crew, disappear beneath the waves.
You make that sound like borrowing a boat. Subs aren't easy.
No, but they're safe. Sealed. Controlled.
Controlled until something breaks.
That's why you bring engineers. The idea of a submarine in a zombie outbreak sounds ridiculous at first, but the scenario becomes terrifyingly logical when you picture the world above collapsing hour by hour. The surface becomes chaos. Sirens, fires, screaming, highways jammed with abandoned cars, city centers turning into dens of infection. Everyone is scrambling for higher ground, bunkers, remote forests, anywhere they think zombies can't reach. But underwater? That's a different universe. A submarine creates a boundary zombies cannot cross. It's engineered to survive pressure, isolation, and months of self-contained existence. The air is filtered, the water is purified, and every hatch is a barrier no undead could ever operate, let alone break. Inside, survival becomes a matter of discipline rather than brute force.
You imagine a vessel, maybe a decommissioned military sub that a surviving naval crew managed to secure before ports fell. The inside lights flicker with emergency power as crew members rush through narrow corridors, taking positions, securing compartments, preparing for what they know could be months without surfacing. The tension is palpable, not from zombies, but from the awareness that once submerged, you're cut off from the world. No rescue, no reinforcement, no guarantee anything topside will ever improve.
You're describing it like it's paradise.
Not paradise, just safer.
Safer until supplies run low.
Then you plan carefully. Ration, calculate,
And when someone gets sick,
quarantine immediately. You picture the crew enforcing strict medical protocols, temperature checks, sealed medical bays, every cough treated like a potential threat. On land, infection spreads because people are sloppy, scared, or unprepared. But on a submarine, where every mistake is lethal even in normal conditions, discipline is the default language. Everyone follows procedure or everyone dies. That's been true long before zombies.
The early days underwater are the quietest. The sub dives beneath the surface, humming through steel. Everyone gathers in the control room, watching fading sonar reflections of the collapsing world above. Maybe they catch faint radio chatter, calls for help, distress signals, static-filled warnings about cities falling one after another. The last human voices crackle through the speakers before turning to silence.
Inside the hull, routines form quickly. Engineers monitor life support, navigators track ocean currents, officers coordinate shift schedules. People find their bunks, tiny sleeping spaces stacked like coffins, an irony no one wants to talk about. Meals are sparse but structured, communication is limited. Every action matters. Every mistake is amplified by confinement. The psychological strain begins almost immediately. The cramped quarters press in. There's no true darkness, no true daylight, just artificial lighting that simulates a world that's gone. People whisper at night about what might be happening above. Some imagine the infection spreading across continents. Others wonder if the oceans themselves will become graveyards of ships trying and failing to escape. But through all of this, the submarine remains untouched. No moaning hordes scraping at the hull, no broken barricades, no frantic running from room to room. Just the steady heartbeat of machinery and metal protecting the last fragments of human normalcy.
So basically, it's survival through isolation.
Exactly. Cut the world off before it kills you.
And hope nothing goes wrong inside?
Hope and preparation.
This is the beginning of the underwater apocalypse. Not a place of safety, but a place where survival is possible if discipline, teamwork, and nerves of steel can outlast the nightmare above.
Okay, so they're underwater. What goes wrong first?
Everything. Just not all at once.
Comforting.
Realistic.
The submarine has now been submerged for weeks. The initial shock of the apocalypse has faded, replaced by a grinding routine that wears down even the strongest minds. Cabin fever spreads faster than any infection could. The air feels heavier, not because the systems are failing, but because tension saturates every cubic centimeter of the vessel. With food supplies dwindling, rationing becomes increasingly strict. No more hot meals every day, no more large portions, nothing wasted, everything measured down to grams. Crew members debate behind hatched closures, how long they can stretch canned goods and preserved rations. They speak in whispers, calculating calories, trying not to imagine the future if those numbers get too small.
The engineers face their own problems. Filters that were designed to last months are burning out far faster under the continuous strain. CO2 levels rise more often than they should. The mechanical team spends every spare hour inspecting pipes, tightening valves, running diagnostics with trembling fingers. Tools rattle in the tight corridors, and sometimes the lights flicker when a system needs recalibration. Every malfunction, no matter how small, feels like the start of a fatal avalanche.
The psychological pressure intensifies. Arguments erupt in the mess hall over trivial things: noise, bunks, work rotations, personal space. Two crew members nearly get into a fistfight over who caused a dropped tray. Someone else starts refusing meals, claiming others need it more, but everyone knows it's stress eating away at them. Exhaustion shows in every pair of eyes.
So the threat isn't zombies, it's people.
Funny how that always happens.
And nobody cracks completely?
Oh, some do. One night, a crew member disappears. Not from infection, there is no sign of sickness, but from fear. He slips away into the engine room, trying to access an escape hatch. Maybe he believes surfacing is safer. Maybe he just wants sunlight again. Maybe the silence of the deep finally broke him. But his actions nearly trigger a depressurization alarm. The officers put him in confinement, not as punishment, but for everyone's safety.
Rumors spread like cracks in glass. Some swear they heard tapping from outside. Others claim to have seen shadows on sonar. A few believe the infected have somehow made it into the water, floating endlessly, drawn by the sound of the vessel. None of this is verified, but once paranoia blooms, it becomes its own oxygen-hungry monster.
Meanwhile, the outside world does not stay silent. Radio operators pick up faint transmissions, desperate voices, automated distress beacons, looping emergency broadcasts from cities long since overrun. Some signals come from naval carriers attempting last-stand evacuations. Others come from civilian boats drifting aimlessly. One transmission seems to be a series of screams before cutting off abruptly. The crew listens in silence, feeling every word echo through their steel coffin. Amid all this, the submarine must periodically ascend to periscope depth to check for weather conditions, drifting debris, and potential supply opportunities. Each ascent is a gamble. The ocean surface could be empty, or it could be scattered with abandoned vessels, bodies, or worse.
On one surfacing moment, the periscope reveals something chilling. A cruise ship dead in the water. No lights, no movement, just a massive shadow floating on the waves. The crew debates whether it holds scavengeable supplies or unimaginable danger. The captain decides against approaching. They're not desperate enough. Yet.
Tension simmers, and leadership becomes its own battlefield. Some officers want to remain hidden indefinitely. Others argue that survival requires risk, exploration, and decisive action. Without a unified vision, the submarine drifts, not physically, but socially, split into factions, each convinced the other's plan means death. As days stretch into weeks, the vessel becomes a world unto itself, a world running out of time, trust, and options.
So they're trapped with fear, failing systems, and too many opinions.
Exactly. The zombies aren't even the main problem yet.
Yet sounds bad.
Oh, it is. All right, so things are bad. What finally pushes them over the edge?
One word. Necessity.
Supplies?
Gone. After months underwater, the submarine reaches the point everyone feared but tried to deny. Rations have dwindled to scraps. Water purification systems still function, but output is dropping. One of the oxygen generators is failing, producing intermittent alarms that send shivers through the crew. Even the air tastes different. Stale, metallic, thinner. There is no choice left. They have to surface. A tense meeting unfolds in the control room. Officers argue quietly, voices sharp but controlled. No one wants to risk surfacing near land, but open sea offers nothing to salvage. In the end, they vote to approach an isolated naval outpost, a remote island base once used for training. Before the apocalypse, it was barely staffed. Now, it might be abandoned. Or worse. The crew prepares as if going into battle. Weapons are checked, flashlights recharged, gear tightened. An away team is selected, volunteers only. Their faces show every possible emotion: desperation, fear, grim determination. No one knows if they're stepping onto a safe haven or a graveyard.
So they breach the surface?
Slowly, as if expecting the sky to bite.
What do they see?
Silence. The submarine breaks through the waves at dawn. The sky is colorless, washed out, eerily calm. The island base looms in the distance, structures intact, but lifeless. No smoke, no movement, no lights. The crew feels a strange, hollow hope. Maybe the place was evacuated early. Maybe supplies still remain. The away team boards an inflatable boat and heads toward the shore. The sand is untouched, showing no prints, no drag marks, no signs of the infected. The structures echo with the metallic clatter of loose doors swaying in the wind. Birds circle overhead, but they do not land, a detail that puts everyone on edge. Inside the base, the group spreads out. The armory is empty. The communications tower is dead. Dorm rooms appear hastily abandoned, blankets tossed aside, lockers left open, half-eaten meals rotting in trays. Then they find the first body. Not a zombie, just a skeleton shoved under a desk, still wrapped in a military uniform. No signs of struggle, no trauma. It looks like the person hid and died of dehydration or starvation. If the base was hit early, the infected never got here. The crew is relieved and horrified at all once. The deeper they explore, the stranger the silence becomes. An operations room shows a whiteboard filled with scribbles, lists of evacuation attempts, coded messages, coordinates leading to scattered locations across the ocean. One line reads, "Do not approach mainland. Losses 100%. But the true warning appears in a storage hangar where they finally find what they came for. Crates of long-term rations, medical supplies, and fuel drums. The relief is overwhelming until someone notices the claw marks on the inside of one sealed door. Deep, fresh, almost desperate looking. The sound comes next. A low shuffle, then a thud, then the unmistakable drag of something moving inside the hangar shadows. The away team freezes. From behind the stacked crates, a figure lurches into view, then another. Not dozens, just 3, but 3 is enough. These weren't turned from a chaotic outbreak. These were sealed in with the supplies, left to starve, then trapped in the dark with only each other. Their bodies are skeletal, their movements jerky and searching, but their hunger is unmistakable. The team fires. The confined space amplifies every shot, but adrenaline drowns out everything. The undead fall, but the noise echoes across the island. From far deeper in the base, more sounds respond. The team knows they cannot stay.
So they run?
They sprint like hell is behind them.
Because it is.
Exactly. The crew grabs what supplies they can carry and races back to the shore. Shadows move in the trees behind them. Figures stumble from the barracks. The island that seemed dead now writhes with sudden, terrifying life. They reach the boat as the first infected hit the sand, dragging themselves forward with inhuman determination. The motor roars to life. The boat speeds away as the shoreline swarms with the undead, far more than the team ever anticipated. Every one of them drawn by sound, by movement, by the scent of the living. The submarine accepts them back like a steel guardian. Hatches slam, alarms ring. The vessel dives. Fast, too fast. The ocean churns above them as muffled shapes thrash in the water, sinking slowly, still reaching. Once submerged, everyone collapses in exhaustion. Supplies are secured, wounds treated. Silence fills the halls, but this time it's different. Not oppressive, but sobering. The crew realizes they can survive a little longer. Not indefinitely, but long enough to keep moving, keep searching, keep hoping. Their future is uncertain. What corner of the ocean might still hold uninfected survivors, floating settlements, signal beacons, or untouched resources? But they now know they are not powerless. They have a vessel, they have supplies, they have each other. And they have the ocean, a vast, unpredictable shield between them and extinction.
So can you survive a zombie apocalypse in a submarine?
Not forever, but longer than anywhere else.
Long enough to matter.
Long enough to live another day.
All right. If you made it through this deep-sea nightmare with us, you're officially tougher than half our crew.
For real. And if you want more wild what-if survival dives like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss one.
Drop a comment too. Tell us where you would hide in a zombie apocalypse. Submarine? Mountain bunker? Grandma's basement?
And don't forget to share this video with someone who thinks they could survive on a submarine. Let's see if they still think so after watching.
All right, survivors, until next time.
Stay shark, stay alive, and stay out of the deep end.